Today's episode is about a topic that rarely gets the recognition it deserves, but absolutely deserves all the attention if you are a gamer, if you like to play games, and that is NPCs, non-player characters. I want to talk about why these background characters are arguably the most important part of any game, especially when it comes to world building, gameplay, rhythm, and emotional impact. If you ever walked through a game and the world felt alive, felt like it was real, most likely NPCs were doing the heavy lifting. In games, in all fairness, we obsess about the protagonists, the boss fights, the things that you can actually see all the time in front of you. But what about the people living in the world that you're playing? Think about games like Red Dead Redemption 2, The Witcher, or The Last of Us. It's not just about the main cast. It's about the shopkeeper who knows your name, it's about the soldier who gives you a nod, or the old man that tells you a story that you didn't expect that took you into a side quest that you're now on for the last 2 or 3 hours. Without them, these games would feel like a ghost town, and this is why I want to highlight them in this video. So, if this sounds interesting to you, welcome and let's get to it. Okay, so welcome to another video. My name is Harvey, and I have been sharing my passion for games development that I acquired over many years here in this channel. If you're new here, welcome. Make sure to subscribe, like, and leave a comment if you enjoy this content at the end of this video. Now, NPCs are absolutely underrated in so many ways. Every time you play a game that actually feels absolutely amazing, the NPCs, knowing or unknowingly, had something to do with your experience. I wanted to make a video to kind of tell you guys from a games developer's perspective how important they are, even though people don't give them enough attention. So let's start by talking about NPCs as world builders. This might sound weird to you at first, perhaps, especially if you're just a gamer, if you haven't been used to actually game development. But games have environmental storytelling. So this is very much like when you play RPGs, or when you play a game that you have to go walk to a village and you have to conversate with people, you have to talk with people to find out more about it. Your Zeldas. This is basically what world building is. So if you play any Zelda game, normally you actually go speak with somebody. This somebody now has a quest for you that you now have to go and do, and then come back and speak with the person again, and then you get the reward, whatever you actually wanted from that person, from that quest. Sometimes you don't know, you just do it, and then you expect for the best, and sometimes you get something amazing, and sometimes you don't. But this is basically what NPCs do, is this world building element that basically tells you more about the world. So they are used as a vehicle for you to see the world through, to inform you about what is happening in this world. This is especially important if the world is brand new. If the world is already been built on, let's say The Witcher 3, then for the players that know about the world, they will know the lore of the world. They will know about little details that most newcomers wouldn't know. However, for all developers, as we build a game, you need to make sure that newcomers and experienced players always have the information needed at any one time. So there's going to be NPCs, world builder NPCs, that are going to have different types of levels. Some are going to be essential, some are going to be less essential, and some are going to be like the little side quests that you have from the villager that you were not supposed to see because it's off the main path in the game and is only for the explorers. Now, in AAA specifically, you will find most of these type of NPCs because they have the budget and they can actually throw a lot of world building to a game. Now, these are normally reactive NPCs, as we call it, and there's different levels to it, as I mentioned before. And what this allows is basically having world building with a pulse, because what happens if you don't have the NPCs? A lot of games put messages in a bottle or in a sign, and this is how you get to know the world. And a lot of indie developers do that, and that is basically a way for you to save from having to build a whole animation set that allows you to know more about a specific part of the world. And this is why I mentioned AAAs, because they have the infrastructure and the means to basically have one set of instructions to be connected with a specific character, and that's the only thing the character has. While if you are more indie AA, investing that amount of time and talent to just have one character tell you one thing or a few more things, and is not tied to a quest or anything super essential to a game, it basically becomes a luxury. Now, let's talk about NPCs as anchors for your game. Now, NPCs also allow you to set the pace for the player that needs to actually traverse the world. And this is by offering you side quests, by offering you upgrades, rumors, or sometimes distractions. And all this are part of a game because you as a player, you're supposed to not only have difficulty, but also have the feeling that you want to explore this world. If the world is incredibly well built, you would feel like you want to complete things. How many of you out there, please comment below, I really want to know this. How many of you out there have finished a Zelda game and then come back to it and because you want to complete the game or you want to know more about the world? This is why NPCs serve as anchors for the game pace that you can actually do. For players that are completionists, this is especially important. Another good example is Assassin's Creed. In Assassin's Creed, you can parkour around the game for hours on end, and it's a lot of fun, but eventually you need to actually know what you're doing or why you are doing it, and eventually it's the merchant that gives you purpose to your parkour. So once again, controlling the pace through NPCs. Another example is Mass Effect. It's not the galaxy map that looks amazing, that grounds you. It's the conversations that you have in between those quests, those missions, while completing the map that allows you to progress through the game. And if you don't have those, you don't know where to go, and it's just basically a lot of emptiness. And this is why, once again, it's so good to have NPCs to be able to kind of like take you through the story and allow you to have a certain pace so you feel always fulfilled as a player. So number 3 is NPCs as emotional glue. We often think as narrative impact something that is reserved for the main story of the game, while in fact, many of the best emotional traits and parts of games come from NPCs, from a simple interaction sometimes. For example, think about Ghost of Tsushima. Most of the gut-wrenching stories that you felt in that game came from minor arcs connected to NPCs. Arcs who mirrored or contrasted the main character's Jin. Or if you play Last of Us, like I know many of you played, Ellie's interactions with random survivors in the game makes her world feel deeply human. And this is why ultimately you connect with Ellie emotionally through these different interactions that you see through the world. Now, why are NPCs so underrated in games? Let's talk about that next. So NPCs are underrated because they are rarely the hero. And this is why you don't see them in trailers, you don't see them winning awards. Maximum, the closest thing might be the voice actor voicing certain NPCs, if the NPC is vital for the story, winning an award. But that's as close as it gets. But they are absolutely the glue that holds the game together. And as a result, I think just like art, any form of art, that is the little things that makes the big picture like filled and enjoyable. And NPCs are so underrated that normally the first thing that gets cut from a budget from a game because of the expense are normally NPCs. It's this living world situation where it's difficult to actually justify having 3 or 5 of certain type of characters that make the world more alive when you can have one say the whole thing. And this is why I feel so personal about the fact that NPCs are underrated, because I think just like animation, if you just pay a little bit more time and put a little bit more effort on creating this world that is diverse with different characters saying different things, it mimics much more of what we are used to in real life, and therefore the world is much more immersive. And the games that actually have made a mission to make sure that this happens, the Zeldas, the Assassin's Creeds, the Ghost of Tsushimas, all of these things basically just mean that the world is not barren and that now you can relate to this world, because it's not just about the character. When you play a game, it's not about people talk a lot about connecting with the character and feeling the feelings that the character has in the game, but what about the world the character is in? If the world is not amazing, so Elden Ring for example, then you don't feel like exploring this world, like talking to this person, like knowing more about this quest. You just feel like just doing point A to B and finishing and grabbing the thing and winning the thing and move on to the next thing, which then feels very mechanical and you're not really enjoying the game. So, as a closing statement, next time that you actually play any game, doesn't matter what game it is, if it's good or bad, Pay attention to the NPCs, pay attention to the shopkeepers, the guards, the random strangers in the road. They are more than filler, they are the lifeblood of the world that you're living in. And if the world feels barren, also pay attention about the fact that probably there's not a lot of NPCs and there's not a lot of organic world building. Some of these things, games, they teach you on what not to do. If the world feels barren and something is missing, try to pinpoint exactly why the NPCs are missing. Maybe are they saving money? Maybe do they have like a very basic story? But then also on the opposite side, when a game feels super alive and feels amazing, then try to query that as well. Is it the NPCs? Is it just the world? Is it the dialogue? What is it that makes it alive? 9 times out of 10, it ends up that narratively, they actually wrote a story for the main character, but each NPC has its own narrative that they can actually feel. And it feels very much that when you talk with somebody, that this person has been in this world, has lived in this world, and knows exactly what they're doing. If you're a developer or animator, 100% never see NPCs as a less than, and put the same effort that you do when it comes to animation, just like if you actually work in narrative or design, as you would on the main character on these NPCs, because when it's done really well, the NPCs feel like you just want to hang out with them. You want to be best friends with them. Boy, who this guy? Like the guy, I forgot the name, but the guy that in God of War kind of upgrades your armor every so often. The twins, there's two guys. One is like a bit better mood and the other one is a bit grumpy. So those two become your best mates at the end of the game. And then after a while, you kind of look forward to kind of meeting them and finding out exactly what is the next thing that they're doing and why do they actually clash so much? What happened in their past? And that's kind of like the level of depth that you should give to your NPCs, the level of respect that you should give to your NPCs, because it's all combined. It's not just the main character. NPCs are the glue of the story and the connective tissue that makes things go forward. Now, if you're still here with me, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Drop a comment down below and let me know which NPC on any game, and this can be for like things like companions, can be things like enemies, can be things like just a random NPC, they give you a line, but which NPC interaction did you enjoy the most from the top of your head on your favorite game? Drop a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. And until the next one, stay well, stay safe. Peace.
All right, I get it.
Tourists are not welcome here. Only a brave or stupid man walks here alone.
Yeah, I'm not the stupid...
Let go. It's banned! It's banned! It's banned! It's banned! Hey! Stop acting like a freak.
If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, go ahead and hit the like button. If you super enjoyed it, leave a super thanks. It's like leaving a little tip and it directly supports the channel. If you haven't already, subscribe and turn on post notifications so you can continue to see my videos and get your weekly dose of better.